Yo, what's good? It's Axgunner, the real Axgunner, and this is my 2023 leveling guide. Alrighty, before we get into it, I've divided the guide into sections, so it's easy for you guys to just jump to the parts that you need. We got levels 1 to 100, levels 100 to 200 non-Starforce maps, level 100 to 200 Starforce maps, 200 to 275, and lastly, bosses and monster park. Now, I'll put all the timestamps in the description box below, so feel free to just jump to the parts that you need. So let's get to it. Section 1, level 1 to 100. When starting a new character, you are forced to do the tutorial / introduction quest, so I don't need to recommend a place to train from levels 1 to 10. Do note, some classes have quite a lengthy introduction quest line that can have you joining the Maple Island at level 30. From levels 10 to 20, we train at Golem's Temple 4. It's a fairly small map and the mobs are quite tall, so you can just hang around the middle platforms and mob left to right. At level 20, we move to the Curse Eyes at Greek Tree Trunk. Now, I really like this map. The platforms are fairly close together, so for most classes, their mobbing skill can hit 2 platforms. Even if your class doesn't have a big hitbox mobbing skill, it's still an excellent map. At level 30, I highly suggest running through Gold Beach Theme Dungeon. It's pretty quick and it's really good EXP. But if you want to just grind, you can head over to one of my favorite maps, Gold Beach Seaside 2. The great thing about this map is the mobs scale from level 30 to 50, so you can stay here for a little while. The map is relatively flat and most classes can stand on the ground and hit both the ground mobs and the platform mobs. Hitting level 40, if you do get a little sick of violet clams, you can go to the Swamp of Despair with JR Neckies. The map is a little bigger, so you do have to move around a little more. Now, if you choose to stay at violet clams instead of coming here, there won't be too much of an EXP difference. Personally, I do prefer staying at violet clams. From levels 50 to 60, we go to Pirion Wild Boarland. This is quite a big map, which isn't necessarily a bad thing. The pro of this map is that the boars actually jump down, so if you do miss a few boars on your rotations, it's okay. Big tip here, there's a hidden teleport portal to the bottom left that takes you to the top left. Please be sure you're using this. Rotation wise, I'd recommend going clockwise. Once hitting level 60, we go to a classic map, Drake's at Silent Swamp. You'll be utilizing the up and down rotation here. There's a portal on the bottom that takes you to the top of the map. Then simply jump down and attack all the way to the ground floor, enter the bottle, which takes you back to the top, rinse and repeat. Very easy and very straightforward. From level 70 to 80, we go to Orbis Stairway to the Sky 1. Very similar to the Drakes. Again, you'll be utilizing the up and down rotation. I would say that the only difference is that this map is more dense. It's got a lot more mobs spawning. The rotation is you start at the bottom, jump down, and mob slowly making your way to the springboard on the bottom left, which then pops you back up to the top. From levels 80 to 85, we go to El Nafe's Ice Valley 2. This map utilizes the jump down rotation again. The portal is on the bottom left and it brings you to the top. Now, a nice little detail is that you do slide around since you are on ice. It may take a little time to get used to. Another 2 maps that you can do at level 80 is over at Ariane. First, Ariane Sahel 2, mobs only spawn on the ground floor, which makes grinding very easy. You just move left to right. The second map is Ariane Desert of Serenity, which is just 1 map away from Sahel 2. Exactly like Sahel 2, mobs only spawn on the ground floor, and rotation wise, it's just moving left to right. Now, I do think that Desert of Serenity 2 is a little bit smaller. I do prefer to grind in Desert of Serenity 2 just because it's smaller. EXP wise is negligible, so it's up to you which one you like more. Hitting level 90, we move to Lab Area. The first map is C1. Like the Ariane maps, mobs only spawn on the ground platform, so it's just basically moving left to right. The only difference between C1 and C2 is the size. C2 is noticeably longer. It all comes down to which one you prefer more, just because the EXP difference is negligible. Section 2, level 100 to 200 non-Starforce maps. Once hitting level 100, we head over to Ludibum Robos. There's 2 maps you can train at here. The first one is Toy Factory Process 1 Zone 6. This is a nice map for the majority of the classes because you are able to hit mobs on both platforms. So very easy, you just move left to right mobbing. The second map is Toy Factory Apparatus Room. This map is one map to the right of Toy Factory Process 1 Zone 6. Compared to the first map, this is more compact, but it does have a third platform. The maps are right next to each other, so I'd say test them both out in battle analysis and see which one gives you more EXP. From 120 to 135, we'd head over to Moon Bunnies at Korean Folktown Black Mountain entrance. So the layout is a ground platform, and this trapeze shaped platform, what people normally do is they just stand in the middle section here and throw out skills left to right. If you've got summons or any long range skills, you use them or place them to the far left side. Hitting 135, you move a couple of maps over to Goblin House, a very small and compact map. There's 3 platforms and you just stand in the middle platform and spam your skills. You stay here till 140. At 140, we head over to Kerning Tower. Now there's 2 great maps here. First is KT 3rd floor 1, KT 2nd floor 1. Both of these maps have the exact same layout. It's got 3 level platforms which you just stand in the middle and do the mobbing. The only difference between the 2 maps are the mobs. One has green monsters and the other one has blue monsters. So depending on whatever color you like looking at more, just go for that map and stay there till 150. From 150 to 165, we head over to Mantis and Blood Mantis at Colossus West Road 2. A lovely 2-platform map. For most classes, you will have a skill that can hit both the platforms. At level 165, we head over to Night District 2. I am very fond of this map. The spawn rate is high, it's 2 platforms, and you actually need to move around quite a bit to get efficient mobbing, which is always fun. From 170 to 185, I recommend going to Omega Sector UFO 202. In this map, there's 2 small platforms on the left and 1 longer one on the right. This is one of the maps you can choose to be very lazy and just stand in the middle platform and mob left to right, or you can be a bit more efficient and jump around the map. At level 180, we head over to Swollen Stumps at Desolate Hills. This is a great classic map. Mob spawn very high. Also, there's a portal that you can utilize to move up and down the map. The 4th job and hypsy skills, you shouldn't have a problem trading here efficiently. You stay here till 180. From 185 to 200, we head over to Forsaken Excavation Site 2, or FE2 for short, and Forsaken Excavation Site 4, FE4 for short. Now, FE2 is a super amazing map. I would say every class, that's right, every class trains here very efficiently. You literally just stand on the middle platform and spam all your skills. Now, if FE2 is a little crowded, you can head over to FE4. This map utilizes the up and down rotation. There's a portal located at the center on the ground platform that takes you to the top. Now, it's not as lazy as FE2, but still very good. Now, another area you can train at from levels 180 to 200 is at Fox Valley. Now, all the maps have a similar layout. They're medium in size, so you do have to move around quite a bit. But between the Forsaken Excavation maps and the Fox Valley area, I do prefer the layout of FE2 just because it's a little bit more AFK. Now look, both maps are great. It just depends if you can find a map. So if you can't find a Forsaken Excavation site map, you can head over to Fox Valley. Section 3, level 100 to 200 Starforce maps. Before we get into this section, let me say you need funding to train at these maps. If you're grinding at these Starforce maps and every mob is like a goddamn boss fight, your EXP per minute will be trash. So the golden rule is if you're not at least 2 hitting the mobs, just go to the non-Starforce maps. At level 95, we can train at Blood Harpies at Mina Forest Skynest 3. Quite a big map, but it does have a portal to teleport you to the top right. So what you do is just work your way around to the bottom left and then teleport to the top right, rinse and repeat, and you can stay here till 110. From 110 to 130, we head over to Jewel Ghost Pirates at Hidden Street Unbalanced Time. Now, you can't really search for this on the map, so I'll just quickly show you how to get there. First, you head to Warp Path of Time 3, and there's an orange portal on the top right, which takes you to the Hidden Street Unbalanced Time. Now, this map utilizes, again, the up and down rotation. There's a portal on the bottom right that takes you to the top right. Again, very straightforward. Once hitting level 130, we'd head over to El Naif Cave of Trials 3. This is quite a long map, but the density of mobs make up for the frustrating length. You stay here till about 145. From 145 to 165, we head over to the Kerning Tower, Floor 2, Room 4. I'd say this is a medium-sized map. You can just stand in the middle platform and mob left to right, occasionally going to the far left to clear the mobs. Hitting 165, we move a few floors up to Kerning Tower, Floor 5, Room 4, and it's pretty much the same layout. To be completely honest, you can actually stay in the previous map till 170 if you want. But the mobs here are higher levels, so they do give a little bit more EXP. From 170 to 200, we head over to Omega Sector UFO H01. This is a very juicy map. It's got a sort of similar style to the FE2 map. The only difference is that these mobs actually give a little bit more EXP than the FE2 mobs. Now, the only exchange is these do have a lot more HP compared to the mobs in FE2, so it comes down to your funding. If you're one-shotting at FE2, I would say move there. Otherwise, if you're one-shotting here, you can stay here all the way to 200. Section 4, level 200 to 275. If you've made it this far, congratulations, baby. 5th job. Well done. But before venturing into Arcane River maps, there's 2 maps you can train at from 200 to 210. First one is FE2. Yep, I've trained here till 210 on a few characters. The map layout is amazing, and once you get the 5th job skills, it makes clearing even easier. So if you're not like 2-hitting an Arcane River, this is the perfect map to train till you get a bit more damage or Arcane Force. The second area is the Fox Valley area. The maps are a little bigger, more movement is required, but again, if you are lacking damage, this area is really good. So both these maps are really good if you're just waiting to level up your Arcane Force a little bit, or if you're not killing efficiently in the Arcane River maps yet. Now to the Arcane River maps. At level 200, there's 2 maps you can train at. First, we've got Raging Erda at Weatherland of Rage, which requires 30 Arcane Force to do full damage, and 45 for the 50% bonus damage and full damage reduction. This map utilizes the up and down training method. There's a portal on the bottom left that takes you to the top left. The second map is Weathered Land of Sorrow. This is essentially the same as the Raging Erda map. It's just that the mobs are a little different. It's got the same up and down rotations. You can stay at these 2 maps till 205. From 200 to 210, now it kind of depends. You can train at below the cave. Whenever you can kill here efficiently, meaning 1 or 2 hitting mobs, I would move to this map ASAP. This map requires 60 Arcane Force to do full damage and 90 Arcane Force for the bonus damage and full damage reduction. Now this map does have a portal on the left side that brings you to the right and vice versa. The rotation people normally do is teleport to the right, mob to the left, then teleport to the right again. Alternatively, if below the cave is full, you can check out Eastern Cave Path 2, which pretty much has the exact same concept of below the cave. You port to the right, then move to the left, and then teleport to the right again. So that wraps up all the Vanishing Journey maps. Once you hit 205, you unlock Reverse City. There's 3 maps here that are really good. The first one is Subway Tunnel 1. Required Arcane Force is 40 and 60 Arcane Force for the bonus. This is a small map, so you can just stand in the middle here and mob left to right. The second map is Subway Tunnel 4, which pretty much has the exact same setup as Subway Tunnel 1. As you can see here, I just stand in the middle and mob left to right. The third map is T-Boy's Research Train 3. The required Arcane Force is 40 and 60 Arcane Force for the max bonuses. This map does have Kerning Tower platform sort of setup, so for most classes, you can just stand on the middle platform and again, mobbing left to right. It all comes down to preference out of these 3 maps. Personally, I prefer Research Train 3, and you stay at Reverse City till about 210. At 210, you unlock Choo Choo. There's 2 maps here that are amazing. First, we've got Slurpy Depths. Required Arcane Force is 100 and 150 Arcane Force for the bonus damage and damage reduction. This is an amazing compact map that utilizes the up and down rotation. So there's a teleport in the center on the ground floor that takes you to the top middle. Look, if this map is full, you can check out Biddy Bobby Forest 1. Arcane Force required is the same as Slurpy Depths, so 100 required and 150 for the bonuses. Rotation wise, for the majority of the classes, you can just stand in the middle and throw out your attacks left to right. You can stay at these maps to 215, but if you want, you can stay at these maps to 220. At 215, you unlock Yum Yum Island. Majority of the maps here are amazing, but if I had to pick one, I would have to say it's Illiard, Field 5. The required Arcane Force is 160 and 240 Arcane Force for the max bonuses. The platforms are nicely situated and rotations are very straightforward. Some classes you can just stand in the middle platform and clear most of the map. If not, I find a clockwise rotation works really well as well. Now if you want a bigger map recommendation, I would say Fungos Forest 2. Required Arcane Force is 160 and 240 is needed for the max bonus damage. Now I really like that the platforms are super close together, so on majority of classes you will be hitting 3 platforms quite easily. At 220 you unlock Latchling. There's 3 excellent maps here. First we've got Chicken Festival 1. 210 is required Arcane Force and 315 is for the bonus. I'd say this is a medium to large map, so you do have to move around quite a bit. Next is Chicken Festival 2. Same Arcane Force required as Chicken Festival 1. This map has less jagged platforms, so maybe you'll like this map more than Chicken Festival 1. Now out of the 2, it just comes down to preference. But the third map, Revelation 3, is a classic, very famous map. 210 is the required Arcane Force and 315 for the 50% bonus damage and damage reduction. This map is so good because how short it is. It's super squishy. Standing on the middle platform allows most classes to hit mobs on all 3 platforms. I highly recommend this map out of the 3. Upon hitting 225, you unlock Arcana and you get introduced to the infamous Cavern Low Path, or CLP for short. 360 Arcane Force is required for full damage, and 540 Arcane Force is where the bonuses cap out. This is an amazing map. It's small, it's compact, and most classes can just stand in the center and mob their entire map. There really isn't much else to say. CLP is always packed for a reason. If you can't find a CLP map, here are 3 alternatives you can try out. The first map is Lower Path 1. Arcane Force required is the same as CLP. I like how there's always a juicy pocket of mobs on the far left and the far right due to the tiny platform layout. Rotation wise, you just move left to right. The second map is Forest of Earth. The required Arcane Force is 240 and you need 420 for the max bonuses. Rotation wise again, you just move left to right. The third map is the deepest part of the Cavern, Lower Path. Arcane Force required is 360 and 540 for the max bonuses. With the revamps in 2022, a lot of classes have wider mobbing hitbox. So standing on the top platform, you can kill the bottom platform mobs. I think this map is very underrated. At 230, you unlock Morass. And to be honest, this whole area is just bad. The maps are just way too big. So I recommend sticking with the Arcana maps all the way to 235 and just skipping Morass completely. At 235, you unlock Esfera. There are 2 maps here that are decent. The first one is Mirror Touch C3, or MTS3 for short. 600 Arcane Force is required to do full damage and 900 Arcane Force for the bonuses. This is a medium-sized map, so a lot of moving about. Now this is one of those maps where you are going to need to develop your own or copy someone else's mobbing rotation for your class. There's no general method in grinding these maps efficiently, so just do a little bit of exploring. Now the second map is Mirror Touch C4, very similar to MTS3, and again, you're going to have to come up with your own rotations. But if these 2 maps seem to be a bit too big, you can go back to Arcana and stay there to 245. It all comes down to what you prefer. But the EXP from mobs is certainly better here, just because the mobs are higher level. At level 240, you unlock Cellars. This is an insane area. There's 2 beautiful maps here I recommend. First is Star Swallowing C1, or Triple S1 for short. 670 Arcane Force is required to deal full damage, and 1005 Arcane Force for the bonuses. So this map has CLP vibes. Very small 3 platforms. You'll be spending majority of your time standing in the middle, mobbing left to right. Super straightforward. The second map is Star Swallowing C4, or Triple S4 for short. Very similar to Triple S1. It's very small, it's compact. The mob density is juicy, and it's got the CLP vibe going. Out of the 2, I do prefer Triple S1, but to be honest, it all comes down to personal preference. And you stay here all the way to 250 or even 255. Levels 250 to 255. I would say these are the hell levels of Maplestory. Even though you unlock Moonbridge, a new area, it doesn't offer any amazing maps to train in. Generally at 250 to 255, there's two methods people use for these levels. The first method is staying at Cellars till 255, right? So sticking with Triple S1 or Triple S4. The second method is Void Current 3 in Moonbridge. 730 Arcane Force is required to do full damage, and 1095 Arcane Force for the bonuses. It's a medium to large size map with tons of platform. This map is very, very class dependent. Lots of jumping around, and if your class does not have a lot of big AoE attacks with low cooldowns, you will not be getting good rates here. I'd say the safe route is just staying at Cellars till 255. At 255, you unlock Limina, which gives you access to one of the best maps in Maplestory. End of the World 1.5. The layout is great for almost all classes in Maplestory. With a regular Lucid Soul Summon, you can clear the entire map. Usually what people do is they stand on this platform here and do a looting rotation every minute and a half or 2 minutes. If End of the World 1.5 is full, you can do End of the World 1.4. Very similar to 1.5, it just has an additional platforms. Mobbing and rotation depends on your class. For this map, I'd advise on trying different things out or check out some YouTube mobbing rotations. Now at level 260 plus, before we go on, you'll need to understand that we are approaching end game maps. You need a lot of damage, and you also need to level your Sacred Force. So again, unless you're 2 or 3 hitting these mobs, I would suggest grinding at Limina till you're able to do so. Now be sure to use the battle analysis to see how much EXP you're getting per hour, to see what suits you best, right? Either training at these endgame maps or maybe staying at Limina for a little bit longer. Alright, so let's get to it. At level 260, you unlock Cernium. The go-to map here is Royal Library Section 2. The platforms are parallel and nice and even, which allows you to mob very consistently. Some classes can just stand in the middle platform and hit both the top and the ground mobs. Again, use your battle analysis, see if you can develop your own mobbing rotations. At level 265, you unlock Burning Cernium, and you'll be able to train at Burning Royal Library Section 2, which is the exact same layout as the normal Cernium map. At level 270, you unlock Hotel Arc, and for most classes, you'll be at Outlaw Infested Waste 2. Yes, the map has a lot of small platforms, but compared to the other maps in Hotel Arc, this would probably be the best one. And that's pretty much it. Now, for a lot of people who are watching, who are 260 plus, you know, I doubt you would need my advice on what map to train on. Like, I'm sure you already know, but I hope this helps you guys. Bossing and daily. So alongside your training, you will want to do these bosses and dailies as well. It's good for EXP, it's good for mesos, and it's a great break from training. So let's get straight into it. At level 90, you unlock Normal Zacium. For new or unfunded players, I recommend to start Normal Zacium at level 100. That's when you unlock your 5th job skills, which have significantly more damage, making the fights a lot easier. Otherwise, if you want to risk it for the biscuit, you can try doing Zacium at level 90. The standard procedure is to pick up a ruin before queuing for Zacium for that extra juicy EXP. Level 105, Monster Park Reborn. Starting at 105, you can start doing Monster Park Reborn. You get 2 free entries a day, and you can enter up to 7 times by purchasing additional tickets from the cash shop. The Raw Road shop, or sometimes even event shops, have additional entry tickets as well. At level 130, you can start doing Normal Healer. Very straightforward boss, not much else to say. At level 140, you can start doing Golux. There are 4 difficulties of Golux: easy, normal, hard, and hell. For most of you, easy and normal would be hard enough, so just stick to those. At level 160, you can start doing normal Horntail. The boss is really nice because it does have a chance of dropping some of those boss drops, which you can use yourself or sell for some mesos. At level 160, you can also do Chaos Horntail, but it does require a bit of funding. So for the majority of people out there, don't worry about the Chaos version, just stick to the normal Horntail. At 180, you can start doing Madman Ranmaru. Like Chaos Horntail, some decent funding is required. If you can't do it, don't worry about it too much. With bosses, the earlier you do them, the more impactful they are, so I do highly recommend doing them as soon as you can. Now, another little tip before I go. Once you hit level 199, there's a Scrapyard quest that you can do once per character. That's just NPC talking and a few cutscenes, and you'll gain a full level, saving you having to grind from 199 to 200. So be sure to do them when you're leveling your characters. So that's pretty much it. That's Axgunner's 2023 leveling guide. If this video has helped you in any way, shape or form, hit the like button and subscribe if you want to see more Maplestory content, and come visit me on Twitch if you want to come have a chat. I'm Axgunner, the real Axgunner. Peace out.